In the latest Cyberpunk 2077 news, following the decision to delay the game to November 19th, President and Joint CEO Adam Kaczynski and SVP of Business Development Michał Nowakovsky addressed the reasoning behind this major change.
Adam Kaczynski, so let me take the first one. COVID-19 obviously doesn't help, but it's not a main reason. But of course it doesn't help in the final phase.
Yeah, well, we haven't specifically mentioned the number of the DLCs, as we call them. We prefer to call them expansions, as they're bigger than the typical DLCs. But of course, the fact that the launch of the CP has been moved will, in proportion, move the release of such potential, expansions. We have not actually made any specific announcements on when that was planned, but since these are actually being developed, these are not any carved out pieces we keep in the drawer, so to say. They have to be made. They will happen later. Now, when it comes to multiplayer, similarly to the expansions, its launch is going to be proportionally delayed as well. Although multiplayer is a bit more distant anyway, so that's a bit of a thing of the future anyway.
The finish and the final phase, those final touches are just about polishing. It's about tweaking small things to make them as perfect as possible at very high quality. And quality, it's not only about big things; it's about small things as well. And there is a hell of a lot small things to be tweaked. And this process just, we have to secure time for this to be sure that we won't rush the release. That's why we add nine weeks. Regarding Night City Wire, nothing changes. Independent journalists are currently playing the game, and we are expecting reviews right after Night City Wire, so late afternoon on Thursday next week. So to judge the game, you will be able to judge the game through the eyes of journalists reading reviews in a week from now. We truly believe that this is the final date. That's only I can say now. Any decision like this costs us, as I said in an initial speech, costs us trust. So we try to be as reasonable as possible to make a final decision. So that's our take on as for now. That we really believe that the game will be released on 19th of November.
We are not considering such scenario right now. As I mentioned, we do believe in the November date. So we're not building any plans around. And if that would mean that Cyberpunk would launch later than November 19th. As for launching next to next gens, we're not worried about it. This generation is different in a way from how the move from PS3 to PS4, from X360 to Xbox One was happening back in the day, in a way that there is from scratch, there is cross-gen compatibility, and both on PlayStation and Xbox, there is actually a hardware enhancement of the games. So the current gen games, if there is engineering work done behind them, will be playable, from the get-go on both consoles. So in fact, we look at it more as an opportunity, because we're going to be targeting both the owners of the current gen consoles and the next gen consoles, and we're hoping to be the biggest or one of the biggest releases, in that time frame, and that definitely can help, because there's going to be additional traffic and interest in video gaming around that time frame. That's the perception.
In terms of the number of expansions planned, nothing has changed. So, and saying expect not less is coding that you might expect a bit more. And the third one was about embargo. Yes, there is an embargo as always, and embargo will be lifted right after Night City Wire, same day. So in a week from now, we'll be able to read previews and judge by yourself about our creation or initial reactions of professionals to our newest creation.
We will be looking at our plans in the next days and short few weeks We did not truly have a chance to discuss it with all the external partners to create a full plan. So while it's a possibility that the marketing may increase, we don't think it will increase by huge volume. The marketing we have planned currently is quite substantial, even considering this would be November period. But to give you a precise answer, I mean, we really will need a short few weeks.
There was no chance to show the game to any press or journalists because the game was too buggy. Now it's polished enough to show it, to let people play. As we said, now journalists from around the globe are playing the game, and you will be able to read the previews next week, a week from now. So that's the landmark, the first landmark. And then every couple of weeks we'll reveal more and more. But and our visibility of what has to be done is much clearer than back then in January. So internally we see it very differently. But of course, from external world, at least till the next Thursday, as you have to, based on our words, situations might seem similar, but internally it's very different from what we had in January.
I can take it here. This is me, Kazuliski. So previews are never based on the full walkthrough of a game that is story heavy, especially because, of course, if it was, it would be a huge giveaway to everybody. So no, the press is getting access to the game, starting from the beginning, from the opening menu, from creation of the character and so on, and they're allowed to play for a certain time. And within that time, they have no limits on what they can do, where they can go, and so on. And they will be writing about their personal impressions on what they will experience. This is typically how the previews are done. I mean, I've never heard of a preview where the whole game would be given access. That's the whole purpose of making preview, of giving some impression, but at the same time keeping some stuff to the chest to be sure that you can surprise both the public and the journalists when they're going to be making reviews just before the launch of the game.
Assuming that those bugs are fixed. So that's why they write previews. So the previews are without scores because reviews, which are based on the final shape of the game or bug-free version, have scores. So previews are based on fairly polished build, but still with some minor bugs.
It will be running on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 from the launch date, just as it will run on the current Xbox and the next Xbox from day one.
German magazine GameStar contained several preview images of the upcoming world of Cyberpunk 2077 lorebook. Thank you for chipping in.